It was the end of 1989. I'm Rachel, and I was 17 years old and had just finished Year 12 and the dreaded HSC. After the excruciating torture of exams, I felt that I wanted to just cut loose and be wild and free for a week. I needed to get away from school and the pressures of home, so I arranged with two besties, Debbie and Sam, to have a holiday on the Gold Coast over Schoolies week. We planned to hit the nightclubs and party like there was no tomorrow. The Gold Coast was everything we had hoped for, such bright lights and clashing music on every street corner as buskers competed with each other to make the most noise. There were fire twirlers, acrobats, and unicyclists ducking in and out of the crowd, juggling their coloured balls. Everywhere, thousands of kids from all over the country were greeting and hugging each other and getting totally pissed drinking whatever out of their Pepsi and Coke bottles. Sam was 18, so she was our go-to girl for purchasing alcohol, which was interesting because she was the youngest looking out of the three of us. Thank God she had a driver's license. 6 a.m, found 3 very tired, drunk girls heading back to our motel. What a night the first one was. The next 4 nights were just a blur really, sleeping or lying poolside during the day, getting totally wasted at the night. We never got home before dawn the whole time we were there. Shit, we had fun. Wish I could remember half of it. We had been on the Gold Coast since Friday night, and I think it was Wednesday night that we decided to get really dressed up and go to this amazing, classy bar where a guy played a grand piano and all the men wore collared shirts and ties. Like, way out of our league, I know, but so cool nonetheless. That's where I met Jason and we hit it off straight away. Jason and I met up the next morning and literally hung out with each other all day. I really got to like him. I mean, we could talk about absolutely anything. We even liked the same jokes and stuff. Later that night, I went back up to his cool unit that had a balcony overlooking the beach. We had a shower together, Jason gave me a massage, and this just seemed to naturally lead us to making love. We continued to see each other until it was time to go home. Jason, who was 29, lived in another city, but we exchanged addresses and phone numbers and had a tearful farewell at the airport. I promised to ring him in a few days when he returned to his home. When I did ring, I found that the number had been disconnected. I wrote to him, but my letter came back not known at this address. It was then that I realised Jason had used me and cut me from his life forever. I did eventually get over Jason and everything was fine until I started to feel a little off colour. My stomach began to feel full and bloated, and I was experiencing pain and burning when I went to the bathroom. Tests revealed that I had a severe dose of PID, or pelvic inflammatory disease. This had developed from an undiagnosed STD that I had contracted called chlamydia. As Jason had been my only sexual partner up to this point, I realised I must have been carrying the infection completely unnoticed for nearly 12 months. My mum, who was a nurse, was quite worried. This was because PID, particularly in an advanced case like mine, can cause infertility. 10 years passed and tests showed that the PID had significantly damaged my fallopian tubes. If I had been tested in those first few weeks after having sex with Jason, I would have been diagnosed and given a simple course of antibiotics to treat the chlamydia. As chlamydia doesn't often show symptoms, I didn't think of getting checked until it was way too late. I'm married now to a lovely man and we would really like to have children. Tony and I have just started IVF, which is sort of our last resort. We're hoping this works. If there is anything I could tell my young self, it would be always carry at least 1 condom in your pocket or purse, and definitely use it when having sex, particularly at events like Schoolies, where alcohol, hot-looking guys, and living in the moment are all part of the mix. You may have no intention of having sex when you go out, but be prepared just in case. If you do have sex at Schoolies, make sure you visit a sexual health clinic or your doctor when you get home. Sexual health clinics report that STIs such as chlamydia spike amongst young people who attend end of school year celebrations.